All right, man, peace. As we all know, Coach Mike Krzyzewski is not only one of the most renowned coaches in the history of college basketball, he's also become one of the most renowned coaches in the history of Olympic basketball. And that's given him the chance to coach Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal. The list goes on and on. So he's going to provide some insight in regards to LeBron James. Of course, they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
Coach, something that's out there in the media right now and fans are talking about is LeBron James and the idea that there are players around the league who don't want to play with him. We heard the same thing about Kobe Bryant late in Kobe's career. Rather than just ask you about that, because who in their right mind wouldn't want to play with LeBron James? It's out there enough that there is truth to it. People hear things. Do you think that has more to do with the shadow he casts and people want their own kind of shine? Or does it have something to do maybe with what we saw in the fight with the Lakers and the Rockets the other night, where LeBron goes over to CP3, like there's a sense that there's a little tight-knit group that includes LeBron, and either you're kind of in that group or you're not? What's your opinion on that?
Or maybe it's just that many of the other more prominent players in the NBA are nowhere near as much in awe of LeBron James' ability to win championships as you are, Max Kellerman, because they know the truth. They know that he only wins 1 out of every 3 finals appearances that he makes. So why would I want to team up with an aging player who only knows how to play one way? And when I say he only knows how to play one way, he only knows how to play in the LeBron James system. He can't play full court anymore. He only plays offense. He does not play any defense. And when the team loses, they're not going to blame him. They're going to blame you if you're Kawhi Leonard or Jimmy Butler or Paul George or whoever, Kevin Durant. So why would you want to team up with a player like that? Let LeBron James do his vanity pieces. That's why I call him a Hollywood actor. He's not someone who can make an appearance in an ensemble cast. He has to do strictly vanity pieces.
Well, let me take the last part of that first. I think he should go over to Chris. He and Chris are brothers. They developed a friendship over years. They've won Olympic gold medals together. And what LeBron did at that time was diffuse a very tense situation. I thought what he did was terrific and so amazingly appropriate. All that I know is I don't know who might not want to play with him, but I'd like to coach him. I love coaching LeBron.
Well, Mike Krzyzewski, with all due respect, sir, you coach LeBron in the Olympics. I mean, come on. That's like... That's like going out on a date with somebody who just won the lottery. Of course, they're going to be on their best behavior and they're going to pay for everything. It's going to be the best experience of your life. Try coaching LeBron James in the NBA after you've gotten off to a 2-6 start. And then tell me how great it is to coach LeBron James.
And the guy's playing, he makes everybody better around him.
Allegedly. That's more narrative. Please name me some players that he's made better by being around them. Now, we can say that he's made his team better in his prime when he's had the right coach. But how many players has he made better? I always give LeBron James credit for making his team better because of his overwhelming individual abilities. But at this point in his career, a lot of those abilities are starting to wane. So why would somebody want to team up with a player who does not play defense? It's only going to put more onus on you. Look at what they're doing with the Lakers. Everybody's talking about the Lakers' defense, but nobody's talking about LeBron James' defense. He's playing the worst defense of any player in the NBA. Now they're bringing on Tyson Chandler, who you would expect to provide some defensive support on the back end. But now where's LeBron James going to hide? Now everybody said, well, good, that's going to help their defense on the back end. Well, that's where LeBron was hiding. He was supposedly the so-called free safety. The only thing free was not him being a safety. He was giving a free lane to the basket because these players would beat somebody on the Lakers off the dribble and he would never contest at the rim because he was scared of getting dunked on. Now you have Tyson Chandler going to be playing the 5. So now LeBron James is going to have to guard the opposing team's 3 or 4. And we know he cannot guard out on the perimeter anymore.
I do think that some guys want their own spotlight a little bit too much. And you have to be secure. And in order to win a championship, you can't have 1 or 2 secure players. You have to have a group of secure players.
Well, in order to win a championship, everything has to come together in regards to synergy. You have to have a great and secure coach. You have to have great players who, yes, are secure, but everybody has to perform their role. And everything has to go well, especially with the LeBron James team, because his teams very rarely win championships except by the skin of their teeth, because oftentimes they have a relatively low overall team IQ. Certain things have to go their way or bounce their way. Now, of course, he was very fortunate to meet up with the Oklahoma City Thunder back in 2012, a group of neophytes who really probably their talent hurt them more than it helped them, because they got to the championship round a year early, in my view. Had the Miami Heat faced off against the San Antonio Spurs in 2012, I think that LeBron James would have lost in the finals that year, because 2013 they should have lost. And of course, because of Ray Allen, they were able to defeat the Spurs. 2016, we know what happened with the Warriors. So it's so funny to me when people talk about LeBron James going to the finals and how he's faced these great teams in the finals. LeBron really should be something like 1-8 in the finals. I mean, he's more fortunate to be 3-6 than people realize.
And if you're not going to be secure about your talent and how it meshes with a great player, then I can see you not wanting to be there. But if
that sounds like pimp talk, Coach K. That's pimp talk. Oh, well, you're not secure enough in your talent to play with a great player like LeBron James. No, sir. It's more like these other great players understand that LeBron is on the downside, and it's really not worth it at this point.
If you want to win, you're going to have to be with other outstanding players.
Yes, it's called going to the Golden State Warriors.
And there's nobody better in the game than LeBron.
Let me say this. I've given LeBron a lot of credit for being the best player in the NBA. And I've stated this already. It's very difficult to officially crown another player as the best in the NBA. Because even though I think that there are other players who bring more to the table than LeBron when it comes to certain aspects, there are so few real alphas in the NBA that are transcendent. That's just very difficult. I'm looking for somebody to say is better than LeBron overall, but it's hard to do. Because you have a player like a James Harden who plays no defense. You have Steph Curry, who I think gets criminally underrated. You have Kevin Durant, who many people would like to be the best player in the NBA, but it's difficult for me to say that because he's not an alpha. That's the only thing stopping KD from being the best player in the NBA. He's not an alpha. He's not the leader on a championship level team. That's why he fits in so well with Golden State. So right now I have to still give it to LeBron pretty much by default, even though I think that there are other players in the league that bring more to the table in certain aspects than what he brings.
I talked to Brandon Ingram before the season started, and I said, you latch on to him. Learn as much as you can from him. You're going to
learn as much as you can from him before you get traded.
You're going to become a better player as a result of being with him.
Coach, real quick before we let you get on out of here, you know what happened Saturday night. You saw the little ruckus that took place. Brandon Ingram, obviously, is a former player of yours. What did you think about him, his actions, and have you had an opportunity to talk to him?
I have. I was shocked, really, because Brandon hardly says a word, and really.
Right, but like they say, those are the guys that you have to watch. Those are the guys that you have to watch. Like they say, the longer the fuse, the bigger the bomb at the end.
With his body, he better not get into fights.
I agree. Brandon Ingram don't need to be fighting anybody. He's the type of person that might tip over on a windy day.
He should be sitting ringside, not being in the ring. It was out of character, and especially with Chris, who I know he loves and admires. So it's that moment where you're a human being and you do something that you regret, I think, in that regard. Yeah. I know he's apologized, and that's not who he is. And definitely, if you had to pick one player in the league that he would not do that with, it's somebody that he's looked up to since he's a little kid and who's worked with him, and that's Chris Paul. So hopefully those fences will be mended.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time today. We wish you luck, but you're not going to need it with those three freshmen, I imagine. Thanks for jumping on today.
All right. Thank you.
See you down the road, Coach. All right.
I agree with you, sir. I don't think that he's going to need any luck at all. I saw Duke play against Kentucky, and they have the best talent in the NCAAs by far and away. It's not even close. Really, the question is there going to be a team that can defeat them this season? Because if they lose more than one game in the regular season before the tournament, there's an issue. There's a problem. Because I'm not even quite sure how much coaching needs to be done with the level of talent that I saw on display against Kentucky. I mean, it really was unbelievable. Now, in regards to Brandon Ingram, I think that he's somebody who was extremely frustrated having to guard James Harden, who can be somebody who frustrates you because he's very physical, and then on top of that, he gets all the calls. And players become frustrated when they feel like they're playing great defense. The offensive player is initiating the contact, and they're getting the reputation calls. But it is what it is. So peace.